Welcome to Seeing This. I am the movie Mamba, Michael Ornelas, and what makes an alpha an alpha? I'd say about 8 to 10 inches. On the call today is the feisty Pisces, Erica McMullen.
Oh shit, is that Ray Fiennes?
Also on the call is the Gerber baby-faced assassin, Adrian Cedeno.
No nose breathing.
We passed. No nose breathing in this one. That's all to say we are talking today about 28 years later, the new Alex Garland and Danny Boyle film that just released. Before we get to that, we're going to do our normal what we've watched this week, past couple weeks. It's been a while. Erica was on vacation. Welcome back. Scotland, you went off and you actually got a couple married, right?
Yes, I helped officiate a wedding, my first one in the books.
First
But
of many.
very short and sweet kind of ceremony. And it was a really good time. I felt very honored.
Seeing this, we have someone that'll get you married. So give us a call or give us a email. We don't promote our email. Did you guys know we have an email address?
I had no idea.
Seen this email at gmail.com if you want to write to us. Give us some suggestions, commentary on the show.
Recommendations.
If you need someone to get you married, maybe Erica's available. We'll get those rates going. But to start, since you were on a trip, maybe, I don't know if you want to tell us about that, or what have you seen either on your trip or while you were gone?
Yeah, actually, while I was on the airplane, obviously they have movies and such, and shout out, I don't know if this is just a United thing, but instead of having headphones that you have to plug in, you can Bluetooth to your headset now, and it synced up really well, so I wasn't bad at all. It was a good connection. But they had two of my favorites, A League of Their Own and Shrek 2.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes you just can't help yourself, and you put on a good classic and have a good time.
A League of Their Own is one of those movies, I mean, we've talked about it, that we saw very young, or that I saw very young.
Yes.
And it's not that it's inappropriate per se, it's just a lot of the adult humor, like, just over your head.
Yeah, you definitely appreciate it a lot more as an adult. I mean, the problem is I cry in this movie at the end. Like every time, like clockwork, like I'll bawl. And I was like, why did I pick this to watch this on the plane as I'm like crying on my way home?
Did she drop the ball on purpose is the question. Or did Kit actually score?
Knock it out?
Is the big debate.
In my very humble opinion, I believe that Dottie dropped the ball on purpose.
On purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
Top 5 baseball movie for you, Adrian? What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I was just bringing it up yesterday. We went on a little motorcycle ride and did some drinking. So naturally,
do we call out? That's why we didn't record yesterday.
We're on the freeway.
Do we want to talk about that?
Sorry about that. So we're on the freeway, and all of a sudden, the guys we're with, like, one guy pulls over to the side, and dude, it was the longest piss I've ever seen, and it immediately took me to A League of Their Own.
Oh.
Yeah.
When he walks in and goes straight to the urinal, and they're just counting it down, like timing it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. A lot of classic scenes in that movie, and hell of a cast. You got Madonna, Rosie O'Donnell, Gina Davis. I mean, Tom Hanks, obviously. What a cast! What a cast! Awesome. We'd talk more about Shrek. We talked about Shrek 2, Erica, but I think our Shrek coverage has been tried and tested here already.
Oh no, yeah. One comment is you just forget how funny it is, and then I was like cracking up the entire time, like
better than the first
whole movie. I really enjoy the first movie. I mean, you can't, like, obviously there's no Shrek 2 without the first movie, and they're both equally good.
Yeah. I think
you don't get the same shock factor in 2 that you do in 1.
Sure. Like the twist itself.
Yeah.
They have a twist, but it's not as unpredictable.
Yeah.
But like when you first watch Shrek, the original, like you're not expecting it to be like a mockery of all the fairy tales, right? Sure. And so it comes off really funny, and that shock factor of fresh. Right. So once you get to Shrek 2, you already kind of see like the ogre mentality and that they're making
Such a
fun of all
good
the fairy tales and all
story.
this stuff. So
I mean,
the shock factor is just not there.
I could be wrong, but I don't think there's really been like a parody on fairy tales outside of like maybe a quick scene in like Looney Tunes or something. But like to have a full parody about fairy tales, I feel like Shrek started that.
Yeah, I mean, there were obviously, like, references in other movies, like,
Sure, but to have it like
Princess Bride has a shit ton of references in other movies, and, like, there are a bunch of, like, Disney references, but as far as, like, a full parody goes, where, like I mean, and rightfully so, after, like, the creator got, like, screwed over by Disney, so it was, like, kind of kismet for this to happen and just be, like, absolutely hilarious.
yeah.
Um, you can never run out of Shrek talk. I know you said our quota was done, but
Maybe your next birthday, instead of a Pisces draft, we'll just do a Shrek the franchise episode, and we'll dive in.
that sounds perfect.
AJ, what have you seen?
Unless we get a Ninja Turtles in there first, I'm not doing any more Shrek.
Hey, have you seen this? Ninja Turtles re-releasing in theaters. I just sent that to you guys. What dates did it say? I forgot. Oh, August 17th and 20th.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles. So 35th anniversary. Get ready for a bonus episode. Erica, we got to do it. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
it's in theater. We got to do it. Take your brother. Oh, you guys have a good time.
I know. We'll take him.
AJ, what have you been watching? What have you seen?
Ooh, I've been watching my Dodgers go on a tear.
Okay.
I think they won like the last 9 out of 10 games. They're solid 7 games ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been watching that, and then
imagine that
some UFC
billion dollar payroll, and they're in first place. Imagine that. Go ahead.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Hey, there's lots of other billion-dollar payrolls that aren't in first place right now.
Yeah. And the ownership just bought the Lakers. I mean, what a busy time in LA.
For $10 billion. That's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When the Clippers sold, it was for $2 billion. I thought that was outrageous. But $10 billion for the Lakers.
I mean, that still is kind of outrageous.
And I don't even think that included like the Kings, the Sparks. Like when they bought the Lakers for 60-something million, they got 3 full-on teams.
What I watched a few things just to go over it real quick. I watched Anchorman. I hadn't seen Anchorman in a while, and it was just one of those nights, like, let's see if it's as funny as I remember it. And it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not.
In watching it, I felt like when it came out was perfect. And it was like the tail end of that kind of really silly, off the wall comedy.
Raunchy comedy.
A raunchy, off the wall, very sexualized in its commentary, and a lot of improv, like Judd Apatow likes to do.
Definitely, yeah.
But in watching it, it's very silly. Like there's some funny moments, like I get it, but like the chokehold it had when it came out, I don't think it still slaps in that way.
I just remember so many people were Ron Burgundy for Halloween that year.
For sure. I mean, you could have been any of them.
You could have. You really could have just like put on a suit and said you were from Anchorman.
A whole ensemble.
No, another one that kind of came across, I don't remember when I had watched it, was Step Brothers. And I think like, not that it's not funny anymore, but I think I appreciate like Catherine Hahn's character and Adam Scott's character way more the second time around, just because like I remember watching a video about Adam Scott like saying he wanted to be like a really serious and like really dramatic actor, but once he got the role for Step Brothers, like he wanted to be in comedy. And I just think that's so cool because we get so many good performances from Adam Scott, like in everything else. So I think watching Step Brothers back, it's not as funny, but I appreciate those characters more and those actors in those scenes.
Catherine Hahn, also an Anchorman.
Yes,
if you recall.
She's like she's a goddess. I love her. Love her.
I also watched a movie called The Last Weekend. It won Best Picture back in The Lost Weekend. Sorry, I don't know if I said last. I meant The Lost Weekend. 1945 won Best Picture. I tried to cover some ground on my goal of watching every Best Picture. I was surprised by this. I actually enjoyed it. It's about a man who is a hardcore alcoholic and tries to hide it and does everything to break his sobriety, even though his brother has given him every chance, the love of his life. And it's like, it's kind of it's
Yeah.
kind of dark, but it's not like super depressing, I think, for what we've been exposed to at this point. But the fact in 1945 they're touching on a topic like that, and like the extremes an alcoholic will go to get there. Just give me one more. Like just get, like it's pretty desperate in that way.
Yeah, because it's not like it's like that need. It's not really the want to have a drink. It becomes that need to have a drink
Yeah.
in order to function.
So I think for when it came out, obviously, like I said, it won Best Picture, but this is one of the ones I would actually recommend from, almost 100 years ago, almost. That
Yeah.
actually holds up pretty well. Like I was entertained. Entertain's a strong word for the subject matter, but like I was engaged with it the whole time. So the
Yeah,
Lost Weekend,
engaged is a good word.
yeah,
I'm
check that
gonna
one
get a
out.
drink.
Go get a drink. I'll talk to Adrian about.
I have cotton mouth, so I'm gonna get a
Wow,
drink.
how to Science Corner? How does cottonmouth happen? Anyways, Adrian, you'll appreciate this since we did our Predator episode, and my guest on that last episode was Brian from Half Baked. By the way, the Instagram police took down that post. So if you guys follow us on Instagram, it said that it violated copyright, and I had to do an appeal, say it's fair use, da 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 da. And they said, "Oh, your appeal has been granted and your content restored, but nobody can see it, so it's not actually restored." Anyways, it
Fake.
was a pretty good one. It was pretty good, but I ended up watching Half Baked, and talk about a comedy that does still hold up. Like top 3 quotable movie that I use in my day to day life. Things that I've said growing up, like with Adrian and some of our friends. Just so much comes out of Half Baked. It's so funny. Dave Chappelle. What a great time. But that's what I've been watching. That's what we've been watching. Without further ado, let's jump into our review of 28 Years Later.
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
I know, I've seen this. I know this.
I will kick it over to the Gerber Babyface Assassin. He's got it fired up, that letterbox description and cast.
Yes, sir.
Let's
All
hear
right.
it.
So 28 years later, directed by Danny Boyle. In 28 days, it began. In 28 weeks, it spread. In 28 years, it evolved. 28 years since the rage virus escaped a biological weapons laboratory. Now, still in a ruthlessly enforced quarantine, some have found ways to exist amidst the infected. One such group lives on a small island connected to the mainland by a single heavily defended causeway. When one member departs on a mission into the dark heart of the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the infected, but other survivors as well.
Excellent job, sir. Just to mention, writing on this is done by Alex Garland. That brings us to some stock movement that we have. There's 3 different stock members that we've drafted, or I guess I should say you guys have drafted. Adrian Stock, Aaron Taylor Johnson. You've got him. He's in this movie. We can talk about his performance here shortly. Erica, you got 2. You got our boy Ray Fiennes and
Yes, I
Alex
do.
Garland. So congratulations. Stock is going up there.
Thank
But I
you.
guess overall, it depends on how you actually feel about this movie and these performances. So Adrian, let's go to you first this time. What do you think about 28 Years Later?
Liked it. I like this whole franchise. I feel like it's a unique idea that it's a rage virus and not like a zombie thing, I love it. I like the whole franchise. This movie kept it going. I was unaware that it's like one of a trilogy. So I wasn't anticipating that, but I guess we get into some of the spoiler alerts later. But high level, I really enjoyed it, and it's a good movie. Definitely go check it out.
Excellent. Erica, what'd you think?
I liked it too. I think I liked it more. There was some things that obviously are gonna bother me throughout the movie, and like Adrian said, once we get into the spoilers, we'll talk about that more. But overall, I really liked that it still tailored to the fact that, yes, this rage virus still exists and there are still rage people going around and, causing havoc and such. I like that idea of it, but I also like that it wasn't really as overwhelming as how 28 Weeks Later was, where it's like the spread's happening, it's getting really chaotic. I really liked that it was a step back from that and we really got the story of what's going on, while still kind of incorporating like smaller aspects of that with like the alpha and the other rage monsters that are going on. I don't really want to call them rage monsters, but are they like rage zombies?
I mean,
Rage
we'll
infected.
discuss a little different, but there's a variety of different type of
Mm.
infected.
Right. It gave me a feel of like Zombieland, where like there's a
Sure.
T-3000, this poor schmuck, you know what I mean? Like they have different characteristics, it's a new species now. It's 28 years later, like they have
Right.
definitely evolved.
And I think Danny Boyle or Garland said that they were inspired by The Last of Us, and it's the same idea with The Last of Us. Like, there's different kinds of zombies depending how long they've been zombified, if you will. So for my thoughts on this movie, I'm going to bring in my guest here right away because he summarizes my thoughts, not just for 28 years later, but for 28 weeks later as well. And my special guest is Jason Lee, who plays Brody in Mallrats. You guys seen Mallrats before?
Yeah.
Well, this is what summarizes my thoughts on the movie.
What, do you know that kid or something?
I hope his pants get caught and a bloodbath ensues.
What is with you today?
Don't get me wrong, I don't wish the kid harm, but his mother should suffer that horrific ordeal so she'll learn how to manage her child.
A harsh lesson.
Man, there's not a year goes by, not a year, that I don't read about some escalator accident involving some bastard kid that could have been easily avoided had some parent, I don't care which one, but some parent conditioned him to fear and respect that escalator. That kid is back on the escalator again. That's criminal. That kid is back on the escalator again.
Leave it alone.
What?
Oh, fucking take all you want! Get a medic! There's a little boy caught the escalator! Oh, no,
So the reason I use that clip or have that be my guess is because both in 28 Weeks Later and in 28 Years Later, it's make stupid decisions that lead to death because of zombies.
No.
28 Weeks Later. I won't spoil it, I guess, if you haven't seen that, but kids sneak off and the story ensues. 28 Years Later, a kid sneaks off and the story ensues. That ultimately is unnecessary, which we could touch on in spoilers.
That it was unnecessary. I think he absolutely had to go.
Interesting. Well, I think we need to have that debate in spoilers here. We lost Erica while I was sharing that video. Is that true?
Yeah. You kicked her out.
No. Both of you guys clearly are having connection problems.
I don't think it's us. I don't think, to be honest, I have full service, full bars. I think it's our platform.
Riverside. We got to call them out, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
because it said that their connection was the problem, like their servers connecting to our server.
Well, hopefully we get Erica back. The video played kicked me out. LMFAO. That's Erica's message to me. Wonderful. Well, anyways, so while we wait for Erica, maybe I can stall a little, talk more spoiler free. I think I actually feel different than what Erica said as far as like it not being as intense was a welcomed change. I actually wanted more zombies. I felt like it was a bit light even when there were infected, I think in any one scene, the most zombies we saw were maybe 20, right? Like in any one given group of zombies, there couldn't have been
when
more
they were
than
all
20.
attacking them.
Yeah, something like that. So I think I expected more with that. There's some decisions bothered me with the rest of the franchise. Like 28 days later, right? It's really shaky. The quality is like 480. Like it's just really tough to watch, especially now. 28 Weeks Later does something similar in its movement, but the quality is a little bit better. Here, I'd say they try to do something disorienting with the editing. Like there was weird edits when kills would happen. The camera would do certain moves and certain edits. There'd be B-roll of like old medieval scenes, especially early in the film, spliced into
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah,
That
that
didn't
was kind
really
of
pay
odd.
off. It didn't really pay off to anything. Like I like the idea of it if they were to incorporate it to a larger message. But like you said, this is like a part one of more movies to come. So it's hard to fully judge it, right? But I think this film had some good moments. I think I expected more, but you know,
I mean, we need to get into spoilers because I do want to like talk specifics because there were issues that I had, and then like consistency kind of thing, and it would definitely be better in spoilers than
yeah.
you know.
Well, I mean, Erica's firing up her modem and her dial. What is it? What is it? Dial up
Dial up.
internet, AOL internet.
AOL.
But we'll let her know when she gets
LimeWire's
back.
coming up.
Yeah, the LimeWire virus she caught from her last download caught up to her. But yeah, let's jump into spoilers. Erica could jump into the spoilers when she gets back.
Spoiler alert.
So there's a couple things here. The movie opens with an infestation of zombies or rage virus they're fucking zombies. They're zombies. Take over this church,
They're not
right?
zombies. They're rage infested.
But I mean, they eat, and you get infected by getting eaten or blood going into a
so
spore,
we're in spoilers.
right?
That was
Yeah.
a part of what I don't appreciate because it's 28 years. How are they still alive if they're not really eating the entire body? They
Correct.
take bites and they're munching, and then what? They stop, and it just becomes a rage virus person. Like, so it looks like there's 20 guys all taking a bite, but they become a zombie. They don't like get eaten. It's kind of weird.
Correct.
Like, okay,
That's a good
so
point.
you're
Yeah.
like you're a zombie, so you think you're hungry. You're gonna bite them because you want to eat. Well, you're biting them, and then you're not, and then they become a zombie, and now that's it. That was the whole point.
Well,
It's kind of weird.
But that comes back to kind of the retcon that this movie does, is because it acts as if 28 weeks later never happened. Because at the end, a spoiler for 28 weeks later, if you haven't seen that, but at the end, the last shot is all these infested walking towards the Eiffel Tower. So they're in Paris, like it's hit the mainland. But in the opening of this movie, they're like, oh, continental Europe has been completely spared and saved, and it's just quarantined to this island. So, okay, what? But also, part of the issue or the story in 28 weeks later is like, oh, well, once the zombies have nothing to eat, they starve off. So the infection, like, we just got to wait it out and they'll die. Yeah. So, what? 28 years later, they're here. They lost their clothes, hence my alpha 8 to 10 inches opening line. What? They could eat worms? Why didn't they eat animals before? Like, they're eating animals in this one.
Well, yeah, the short, fat ones that are just crawling. They're supposed to be like unthreatening, right? Like they're still zombies. They're still trying to come kill them, but they're crawling and they're overweight and they can't move right. But they're just mainly like they're almost like big pigs, right? They're just eating worms out of the earth, you know.
They move slower, but they're bigger.
Yeah. So there was some inconsistencies that kind of turned me off, but in the long run, like it's a zombie movie, right? Like, or
yeah, sure,
not a zombie movie, but you know what I
they're
mean?
fucking
Like,
zombies, dude. They're zombies. Call it what you want. It's zombies. But well, riddle me this. So on my way to the theater, I hit goddamn Portland traffic, and I went to a local theater. Shout out McMiniman's Baghdad Theater, where they don't play long ass ads. So I missed the opening scene. When I walked in, the priest was getting taken over, and the kid was hiding like underneath. Right? Did I miss anything significant before that? Like, was it just infected, got to the church, and that's what happened? Okay, so I didn't really miss anything.
They were chasing the kid. They were chasing the kid, and the kid is, runs into the church for safety. That's all.
And then that's what happened. Got it.
Right.
So Aaron Taylor Johnson is the dad, and he's got this kid, and he's got a wife that is sick. And in the moment, we don't know why she's sick. She's kind of seeing things. She's kind of talking to herself. She doesn't look well. She's in bed, whatever.
It definitely looks like the Green Mile, you know, like when the lady has a tumor in her brain. So it does give the perception that there's something going on in her head. Not necessarily like her whole body, but especially because any type of like drain that she goes through, she starts getting a little nosebleed. So it definitely gives you the perception that it's something with her brain, something in her head.
Right. While this is happening, the young kid Spike, who is played by Alfie Williams,
yeah,
does a great job. I think anyone that's watched this movie, the takeaway is talented kid actor that carries. He's the main character, really. But he is coming of age, and part of the culture now, 28 years later, is that when you're old enough, which I think they say he's 14, 15.
12, and they normally
12?
do it. Yeah, so he's 12 years old, and they like that's why they want him to wait. They're like, he's not ready. We normally wait 14, 15, 16 years old, and he's only 12. And his dad is like, nah, he's ready. Like, he's good.
I gotta say, maybe because I missed like a few minutes, jumping right into like this ritual felt a little jarring. Like there was no real like backstory as to why. Like we put it together that this is just something this community does now. But again, like for what? Like just to go hunt and prove you can kill a fucking. Like it seems pretty.
I guess that's what the natives did, right? Like it was like a coming of age.
You're gonna go hunt a deer. You're not going to go necessarily hunt like a zombified bear, you know, or something that's going to infect, you know, so it's a little different. But anyways, they do that. The kid kind of freezes in critical moments. Spike freezes in critical moments. Aaron Taylor Johnson has to
freeze. He just misses. He's not as accurate because your nerves, you're running, you're breathing. He's missing his shots with his. Well, first off, what are you doing taking a quiver of arrows with like 5, 10 arrows? Like it's a zombie apocalypse, right? Like you said, the most we saw at one time was like 20. That's still twice as many arrows as you guys have, and you like this is preparing. I don't know.
Well, thankfully in this movie, it seems they have unlimited arrows because. I mean, we could fast forward to the end where he takes off with his arrows. It's like, these arrows are going to survive you on whatever fucking journey you're going on, but we're not there yet. He does this little outing, misses a few times, but when they get back, Aaron Taylor Johnson, what's his fucking name in this movie? Jamie. Jamie comes back and is telling everyone like, oh man, he was incredible. And then my son did this, and essentially lying, right? He's lying and hyping up his son.
Bragging,
really, he's bragging, but not accurately. While he's doing this, he has himself some fun with a maiden at the bar, takes her to the alley, and has a feast. Looks like he's getting ready for a feast.
And the kid is there watching it, so
and he sees it.
He's even though like he's there watching his dad brag about him or embellish the truth a lot, he's like, that's not what happened. Like I missed that shot. So he's already seeing his dad lie, right? And then, you know, all the while his mom's in bed sick and he's over here getting a little piece on the side.
In the middle of the night. And the son is with him at this bar. Granted, 28 years later with zombies, maybe that's just normal. But yeah, so once that happens, that kind of triggers Spike to be like, all right, fuck my dad. Mom is sick, and I got to figure out why. And when they went on their hunting voyage, Dad tells him about this doctor, or he hears about this doctor. So someone had told Spike about this doctor that's on the mainland. And he sees the fire.
No, like he sees a fire off in the distance, and he's like, what's that fire? And the dad, who knows already what is the fire, Jamie, is like, nothing. And he just shines it off. Yeah. And then when he's back, whoever they live with, like an uncle or something, spills the beans and tells him like, oh, that's the old crazy doctor. Like he's the one, still with the fires and all that stuff. So then he's like, wait a minute, there's a doctor that could possibly help my mom, like, or at least tell us what's going on. So that's what sparks his adventure to go on his own with his mom.
And his dad tells him the story of how, like, oh, when I was younger, we saw the doctor, and essentially we see all these dead bodies just all around him, and he kind of just waves like, hey, come on. Come on
down.
over.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I saw that scene, I like, it's there's fucking zombies. And he looks welcoming. Like, what's up, man? What do you got going on here?
I mean, they're all lined up perfect, and I mean,
he has
there's
something
quite
going
a few dead bodies just laid out.
Yeah.
I can understand their fright, their angst in going down there. Like, what? Like, they're diseased, they're infected, and you want us to go down there with all these bodies? Like, yeah, right. It's kind of weird, right? Like, so like
that's
a mortician,
and that's Jamie's thought process, that this doctor's nuts. Like, don't deal with him. Spike thinks his dad's a liar now at this point, right? So he decides to venture off and go find this doctor, which
he takes his mom with him,
and takes his sick, dying mom with him. Like, hey, mom, come on, we're gonna find this doctor, which he doesn't say until they're across.
Like, hey, mom, I know I missed a lot of shots with with dad, and I wouldn't have survived and made it out, but me and you can do this.
Right. And that's where my special guest, Jason Lee, comes into play.
Dumb kid.
Where these fucking kids make stupid decisions. And if we fast forward really quickly to them finding the doctor, they end up finding the doctor, and he's like, well, she's got cancer. Right. Mm-hmm. So,
like, I can't test. I don't have anything but my expert opinion is she had something in her brain, cancer, and it likely spreading, down south towards the rest of her body.
There's nothing she can do. She's essentially going to die, right? So
pretty much. And it's a nice speech that he gives them, like, hey, this is, everybody dies, but if you're going to die, don't you want it to be on your terms where you can leave your people with love the way it should be? And so we got to kind of backpedal a little bit, because he's a doctor surviving all these zombies, right? How he survives
in the mainland,
is with morphine.
Like, not even
right. So he's out on his own amongst all the infected, and he's surviving. And it's all because he's a doctor, and he's using like darts with morphine. So he's like a native, just shooting morphine darts at these zombies,
and it kind of like just makes them freeze and stand dozing off. And he's named them, right? Like, he names the alpha Samson or Samus or something like that, right? So he's kind of learned to live amongst them, right? Yes. And he's building kind of like a memoriam for people that have died.
Right. He cremates them and gets just the bones, the skulls, and makes an altar for them, essentially, out of all these skulls, because it's a noble thing. Like, hey, all these people are people, and they should be remembered, whether they were infected or not infected. Like, these were people,
they lived a life.
They had a spirit, they had a soul. We should remember it. And so the kid realizes, like, oh wow, this isn't something like my dad was saying, like, he's a crazy guy. It's a noble cause. It's something good. And all the while, like, well, can you help my mom? Well, no, your mom has cancer, but I can help her, pass peacefully, like, on her own terms. Sure. And as he starts freaking out and getting all upset, he hits him with the morphine dart, gets him to calm down a little bit. And then, all right, let's go, mom. And he quietly puts her to bed, cremates her, gets her skull, and brings it back to the kid. Like, here you go. Go, find the best spot for your mom. Like,
and the fun. So here's a couple issues I have with that. One, granted, there's zombies. It's a whole different world. But if I was given my mom's skull that's just been burned and pieces of skin still had to be peeled off after he does this whole process, be like, oh, here, pick the best spot.
Right.
Bro. What? First of all. Second of all, there's a scene where Spike grabs one of the skulls and a few of them fall, right? But now
He's like,
when
oh,
you
it's
go,
all right.
yeah,
And
that's
he
fine.
climbs all the way to the top.
Erica.
We're gonna have to be on my phone.
Okay. There you go.
But wait, did it turn me sideways or no?
No,
It did.
you're sideways
You are
right
sideways.
Should I be up and
There you-
down or should I be sideways?
Like that. Like that.
now. Well, but the problem is, I think you have something locked. You have to unlock your phone.
I already unlocked it, so shut up, Michael.
Well, but you're little. I'm it's gonna come up funny. But at least we have you. Listen,
It's not... Yeah.
Oh,
You're gonna have
dear.
to edit your
Listen,
editing
folks,
powers.
this is what we're working with. Well, just to get you up to speed, we're into spoilers. We've talked from the beginning of the movie up until place your mom's skull in the perfect position. Before we go any
Before
further,
we go into any of that,
go ahead.
how fucking dumb of a journey is that?
Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what my guest speaker was talking about as I was telling Adrian. All for nothing.
I heard the whole guest speaker, so I got all of that before it kicked me out. But I think that was just the biggest aspect that bothered me, right? Was that was highly unrealistic. There was no fucking urgency. And the way that they were coming after him and his dad versus the way they were coming after him and his mom, didn't add up for me. Do I like the journey all the way to Rafe, the doctor's character? Yes. I like them going there, but I kind of heard what Adriana said because I kind of popped in at one point where it was you kind of already knew that she had some kind of tumor or something going on.
Something was wrong, yeah.
In her brain, yeah.
You like that?
You said,
you like
one parent present.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing is that this kid takes off because he thinks he can help his mom, but the mom, there's no saving, so she's gonna die.
But he doesn't know that.
I know he
doesn't know that, and that's what I'm saying. He needed to go do that. He needed to because he sees his dad doesn't care about his mom. He's lying. He's getting side pieces. So he just sees his mom hurting, and he's like, yeah. I'm gonna save you, mom. If my dad doesn't care, I do. I'll go take you. And I think it was noble, and I think it was, yes, dumb. But at that point, he doesn't know that she has cancer. He doesn't know that it's terminal, even though maybe his dad does. Even though maybe everybody around him knows, hey, she's dying,
I think that's the shitty part of it is that everybody fucking knows. And all of that could have been prevented. He didn't have to light fire to the thing. They could have just said hey, this is what your mom's living with. Let's make her comfortable in her last days of dying. We obviously don't know when it's going to happen. Yeah. But no, here we are. And now he's, on his own. It's really all the dad's fault.
Okay, like my guest said, if one of the parents would have helped him understand the consequences of messing with zombies, then there'd be some accountability. Listen, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jamie, not the best of fathers, not the best of partners. I think that's
look at his example.
Yeah. I mean, tough.
I mean, given the circumstances, I'd say he was pretty good. Let's be honest, guys. They live on an island. It's 28 years of infestation. They figured out all this stuff. I'm sure it's not peachy keen.
I'll tell you what.
It's.
I'd say if Jamie and the mom, Aaron Taylor Johnson and the mom, played by what's her name? Jodie Comer. If maybe they had an open relationship type of situation, yo, I'm sick. It's what it is. Maybe they had some kind of an agreement. That's all assumption. But for the kid to be all right, fuck my dad. I'm taking my mom. I have no idea what's out there. And when I did go out with my dad, I missed plenty of shots. Thankfully, some Swedish guy shows up to help them along their journey and provide
and then he gets whacked.
And then
He gets his spine ripped out.
He
he
gets
gets
his shit rocked.
Dude, that alpha. It reminded me of Predator. You know, where he's just like swinging their spine with the skull attached to the end of it. Like,
yeah.
dude, he's just ripping their head with their spine attached, ripping them out of their bodies. I mean, that
Combat
was
fatalities. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty insane.
And also in that happening, here's a nitpick I have, Erica, and I'm going to come to you with your science table.
Oh no.
So there's a pregnant zombie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a
Okay.
pregnant
So I'm assuming
zombie.
that's for the next movie, right? That's got to tie in for
Well,
part
let's
2
get
and
to
part 3.
Let's get to it. So there's a pregnant zombie. We see her roaming around, and then she's in the train with the mom and Spike.
She's delivering the baby, and they just hear her screaming.
She's
right?
about to give birth, and
Yeah.
Jomi's sorry, I keep fucking
Jody
Jody,
Isla
who plays Isla,
or
means
Isla.
island, which means I think it's
Isla.
Isla. Is it
No,
Isla?
I think they say Isla at the end when like they're reading the letter that the kid left. Like, hey,
yeah.
her name about the baby. Like, her name is Isla. Is what
Whatever
they said.
her damn name is. She decides to go to this zombie and like have a mother birthing moment and hold hands with this birthing zombie and
And
watches
that zombie
the baby.
just knows what the hell's gonna happen. Like,
It-
oh, you want me to squeeze your hands? Oh, I see.
I was like, kill this fucking zombie and its fucking baby, because it's gonna grow up and make the same stupid fucking decision if it's not already infected.
Well, okay, so
Yeah, just no. What are you talking about? What are we watching here? They're birthing another one.
pause, right? The birthing scene bothered me because realistically, I don't think that the rage infected is going to calm down enough to have a baby. I can agree with that. However, the possibility of the baby not being infected, that is absolutely possible
Right.
because
The magic of the placenta. Yeah.
The placenta is completely different blood supply than
I
what
love
is
it.
that of the mother. That's why you can have different blood types in like your
Can I tell
children,
you?
and it has to have a separate blood supply. So essentially, yes, that can happen.
Erica, when I heard Ray Fine, it was Ray, I think, the doctor that says the magic of the placenta. In my head, I was like, you know who's gonna buy and love this fucking bullshit line?
Loved it.
It's gonna be Erica. It's gonna be Erica.
That is accurate. That is how that happened.
Erica, we're talking about rage virus. It's accurate. We don't have a disease like that.
Right.
Baby, people that give birth that have HIV or AIDS, the baby oftentimes has HIV and AIDS. So the placenta's not that magical. Like it is. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to get canceled.
Okay, but hold on a
come
second.
on.
We're not gonna get into HIV because that's completely different.
But that's my point. We're talking about a fictional disease, so we can't say like, oh yeah, the placenta would block it. Like
no, but what I'm saying is, as far as like blood types go, because that's what the virus is affecting. Yes, like it would have a separate blood type. That's all I'm saying.
So I've seen placentas. I've seen 3 placentas, guys, and I could tell you, like, they look pretty magical. Like this is the best damn steak I've ever seen. Like when they pull it out, it's got like the color. It really is beautiful. Like I'm telling you guys, I've first off, I've had a half a cow, so I've seen like what steaks are like butchered.
You took a left here. Wait,
so
birthing and
this
then now
placenta, the placenta doesn't look like a regular like color of meat, like carne asada. Like it is its own man. When they put it on the table, I was sitting there like,
on the table. Why is there
amazing?
Are you guys gonna grill it? What the fuck? What do you mean? You're comparing it to carne asada?
Bro, how are you guys? The 2 people who don't have kids are gonna try to question me about delivery and placentas?
Hold on. You have to deliver the placenta after.
I understand. Listen,
guys, they don't want to leave it in your leg area. They got to put it somewhere. So they prop it on the little...
Guys, this is a podcast. I was trying to make a joke about the leap from a cow carne asada being put on the table. We can move on. My point is...
The whole point was that it looked good. Like, I would eat it. I mean, it looks magical. It
We're
looks
eating it. That's my
awesome.
point. No one's talking about that. We're talking about
The whole point is that it's magical. I've seen it. It looks magical.
Folks, this is where this has left us on
Yeah.
this debate with the zombie goddamn baby. Anyways, so this baby comes out.
Yeah.
And it now is being taken care of by the kid. And that's it. He's got to take care of this kid.
Right, because Rafe freaking pretty much kicks him out. Hey, you know, it's kind of time for you to go now. Like,
So
you're
he
kinda-
goes back. He goes back to camp, and you know, zombie chase in between. Alpha and his big dick running after the kid, trying to kill him, running back. One thing I was disappointed in is how they talk about the land bridge, right? With low tide is only safe time. We never see like a cool high tide come up and like just wash them away. Like I was expecting something to come of that, but it was really just a normal.
But the anxiety I got when that alpha is running through the water right fucking behind them, you're tripping, because I forget how much I don't like my heart to race in movies, and that entire scene I was like, I don't think they're gonna make it. I think this might be like a pivot in this movie right now. Like my heart was beating really fast.
Well, that's great. I mean, maybe I'm just jaded, and I was like, okay, he's gonna chase. I mean, it was kind of predictable, right? I mean, I thought
it was
like,
predictable.
He's gonna chase, and it's like the Austin Powers scene where the car's coming super slow, and he's like,
yeah.
"No."
Careful, Austin. Watch out! Watch out!
Like
Same
again,
idea.
this is like another one of those movies that like also has the nostalgia factor to it, right? As people want to go see it because they enjoyed the first two movies so much.
Yeah, for sure. I think just those specific things bothered me as far as the zombie baby, and then he returns, leaves the baby, and leaves a note to. I don't even remember. He leaves a note, right, or something to his dad or wherever.
Dad, I'm okay. Don't come after me. I'm good. And I found this baby from a rage, but she doesn't have rage.
But it's not infected.
But it's not infected. And that drove me crazy too. How the hell? It's like Erica. Erica delivers this baby, and she's like, "Oh, it's not infected. I know. I can see right through it. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Add it to my list. OBGYN.
Yeah. Yeah, listen. My whole issue is maybe they need that for the story to develop, but there's no way this baby is just perfectly normal and fine. Like a fucking rage zombie gave birth to it by the alpha, and they made it appear like it was the alpha's kid, right?
Yeah, they did kind of allude to that, which
that has a lot of implications.
In that scenario, if the baby was conceived between
After
two
everybody's infected.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of question marks there. But let's just jump into Commodus Scale. Thumbs up, even, or down. Erica, let's start with you. What do you think? Thumbs up.
I enjoyed it. Like, as much as, you know, like we said, we had a lot of nitpicks about it and stuff like that. I still had a good time in the theater watching it. I really liked the dramatization, like at the very beginning of the movie, where it felt like very like back and forth. Look at this tragedy, but look at it now. Back and forth. Look at this tragedy. Look at it now. Like back and forth. Like I kind of really liked that at the beginning, and so it kind of brought me in to like, this is gonna be a story because all of this chaos has already happened, kind of thing.
One more. I guess it's not much of a complaint, but more of like a question. Like, what were those scenes like where they're flashing back and like almost before it happens, it's like almost like a premonition of what's gonna happen that the dad seemed to be having, but you couldn't tell if it was the dad seeing it or if it was the kid. And then later on, those scenes still start happening, and it seems like it's with the kid. So is it something like they were gonna try to, hey, this kid has like special gifts where
you're
he
referring
can slow
to what
down?
we talked about, right? As far as like the kind of like the medieval archers, or like There's even like the infrared of the zombies, right? That
Right.
kind of like interspliced into these various like action scenes, right?
Right.
What
But
was
it
your
almost felt like a premonition. Like he was seeing these things or feeling these things before it was gonna happen. Like before the zombies come and attack him. Like he was dreaming, and then all of a sudden there's these scenes, and then he wakes up, and then he's like, "Where's my mom?" And like the zombies are coming, and you know what I mean. So it was almost like
Interesting.
warnings that he was getting. At least that's how I took it, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Like they're kind of misplaced, and like it never had a
I could
payoff. Like
Say that again, Erica. You cut off.
I said I can kind of see that. It was, I think for me though, it really reminded me of like the beginning. I always talk about him because I love him so much, but like at the beginning of Jordan Peele's movies where he has like that very like distinct music when you have certain things that are happening on screen, and it matches that the music and stuff. I think it was kind of maybe trying to do some of that where it was like,
Yeah.
look at these flashbacks, look at what we're doing. Like we had to resort to these kind of times. Like we have to resort to using a bow and arrow because, you know, it's been 28 years since we've, you
but
know,
the
been
Sweetheads
here. So
guns.
it
So the
was
Swedes,
a little
well,
bit of
life is
that.
normal. Life is normal outside of like he's got his model girlfriend with the plastic surgery, and Spike's like, "Yo,
Yeah.
what's up with her face? Why is
Yeah.
her face so
Yeah.
swollen?" You know. So like, the normal world is happening outside of the UK. You know what I mean? It's like Cillian Murphy in 28 Days Later when he sees the plane. It's like, oh shit, there's like still life happening somewhere. You know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I guess just the cutback editing that you're talking to, Adrian, I just felt like it was kind of misplaced or didn't really pay off. If anything, maybe they're trying to humanize the zombies to be like, there's always someone we're trying to kill over the course of history, and now it's the zombies. And the fact that the doctor is kind of like living alongside them, I think maybe with the following movies to come are going to lean into the humanity of these zombies. It's the only thing that I think can make sense.
You
Or
kind of get that.
the kid becomes like a mutant, right? The kid
Maybe.
is
But why?
maybe infected
But
with rage, but he can control it, or maybe
and
he's
that's
just like
why we have to be
she's
humane to the
right.
baby. We have to like treat this baby like a living person. Yeah, that's probably the direction they're going to go, or at least we should get credit for calling it out. Erica, sorry, you're going to say your mic is like your volume's a little lower, so when you talk, I think Adrian's overpowering loud voice cuts you off. So please go ahead.
That's right.
Okay. No,
I'm
I just
alpha.
Hey, mansplaining, take it easy. Go ahead.
no, yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that we're gonna see like this new rage infected baby maybe kind of get something from that aspect of like, you know, maybe having the rage, but like Adrian said, being able to control it, or, you know, finding a way to live alongside the
Thanks to
rage
thanks
infected.
to the
So
magic of the placenta. Got it. So Erica's a thumbs up. Adrian, where are you going?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
I liked it. Yeah, we're nitpicking, but that's for the podcast. At the end of the day, I did enjoy it, and you know, it is fictional, so
Sure.
can't hold too much weight into the inconsistencies that are happening. You know,
I'm very happy you guys enjoyed it. I'm an even for this. I actually like 28 weeks later more.
that's the best one.
I think so, and a lot of people don't think so. And the fact that I also
I do, yeah.
I don't know if you dropped off already, Erica, but I was telling Adrian that like this movie states that 28 weeks later didn't happen, right? Because they open this movie with like, oh, continental Europe is safe, but the end of 28 weeks later, they're all running to the Eiffel Tower, so they're in Paris. So there's a lot of like retcon that happened there, which I don't like when a movie does that. And if a franchise is going to do that, it should be fucking Star Wars. But that's a whole different discussion. So yeah, 2 thumbs up and an even from me. Let's do our double feature pairings. Adrian, what would you recommend to pair with 28 Years Later?
I Am Legend. Similar type of like a virus. They're trying to cure cancer. A virus comes out and causes all these zombies, right? Monsters, and one lone doctor to try to save everything. similar type feel, a little serious. It's a really good movie. Better book. So if you have a chance to read it, I would read it and then watch it. But I think these two movies go good together.
We were talking about if you've suggested that movie before, and I think where it's come up is in a draft. I think it got an honorable mention, or maybe it got
Yeah.
drafted in something, but I don't think you've recommended it in that way. So good pairing, good pairing. Erica, what would you pair with this movie?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go with my boys, Sean and
Simon Pegg.
Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Shaun of the Dead is just one of those like well done parodies where it was, spot on the nail, like exactly what you would expect from a zombie movie, like, but really good. I mean, I love British humor. I love British comedies. So it's just like a perfect way to like get the zombie aspect of it, but still have a really good time and enjoy yourself. And I recommend, like, this could be like a family movie. Like, if you have like some teenagers, like, it could be a fun thing to watch with them for
Almost
sure.
like Zombieland. It was like Zombieland before
Yeah.
Zombieland.
Comedy energy
Yeah.
for a zombie movie, for sure, for sure. I'm going the other direction and getting more dramatic, and I would recommend Train to Busan. This is a Korean Japanese film that really is unique in the way it tells its story. Visually, it's incredibly like graphic and a lot of suspense and action. And I think most importantly, what separates it from others is it's incredibly emotionally powerful by the time you get to the end of this movie. Like, I've watched this movie maybe twice, maybe 3 times, and every time, I think, Erica, we might have talked about it on a draft or something, when she's like, again, it's not really a spoiler, but there's a part where the little girl's singing, walking down the street, and it's like, yeah. So Train to Busan, if you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. Now, to draft some
Oh, please be me first.
stock. Time to draft some stock, folks. Let's see. We've got me, you, Adrian. Everything's ready to go. Who's going first?
Adrian.
And finally, The Rock has come back. Go. That's me first. Second, Adrian going to Erica is.
You're gonna have to
last.
announce it. It's taking so long. I can't.
Oh, like you can't see it?
My heart.
Can you? Are you behind Erica?
No, I
Sorry.
can see it, but it's just like delayed.
Got to work on our internet connection here. So I am first. Adrian is second. Erica is third as we draft stock. As mentioned, some stock paid off here. So you can't redraft someone that's been drafted. I think that goes without saying. Okay. You know what? I am actually, we didn't even talk about this, but maybe this is a good opportunity, as I'm going to draft Jack O'Connell. Jack O'Connell comes up in the very end of the movie as like this blonde group of Power Rangers that show up, which feels like a completely different fucking movie. I think in my Letterboxd review, I mentioned the shock of the Targaryens showing up because it felt like these blonde-haired people came out of left field again to save this fucking kid. But nonetheless, Jack O'Connell also was the Irish vampire in Sinners. So there's a lot of buzz around him. So I'm going to go with Jack O'Connor. Adrian, you're next.
Nice. I'm going to go Jodie Comer.
Nice.
I liked her in The Free Guy. I've seen her in a few other. Yeah, I've seen her in a few other movies, so I like her, and I think she's gonna be in. She's gonna have a good career. I think she's gonna be in a lot more movies now.
I mean, another one she was in that you liked was The Bike Riders.
The Bike Riders, yeah.
Which honestly, I actually didn't like her in that. I thought she was a bit of a weak point in that movie, but maybe that was just my personal thing there.
I think her character had to be like a weak point in that, but it was kind of weird.
Yeah, good
I liked her in Free Guy. She's in Star Wars.
The Rise of
Skywalker.
We don't talk about that. Yeah. Okay. Excellent pick, Jodie Comer. Erica, it's up to you. You already have Alex Garland. Are you taking Danny Boyle, or where are we going?
I
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
actually am gonna take Danny Boyle.
Wow. High risk, high reward, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the things that I've seen from him, like you said, hit or miss, but I've enjoyed from what I've like looked on his IMDb and just kind of looking at what he's done and stuff that I remember that I've seen. The ones that hit really hit.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think we all have the same favorite Danny Boyle in Train Spotting. Is that fair to say?
no.
No. Adrian, do you know Danny Boyle like that? You got Train
No, I don't.
Spotting, The 28 Days, Slumdog Millionaire.
Slumdog
Yesterday
Millionaire.
is your favorite over Train Spotting.
Yeah.
Wow. You've seen Train Spotting, right, Adrian?
Mm-mm.
Really? Wow. You gotta
Really?
check that out. That's like one I feel like we grew up with. Like it's heavy, but
You'd
it's fucking
like it.
good. Yeah. It's up your alley.
1996.
It's up your alley. It's definitely like a classic, dude. Ewan McGregor, a bunch of other actors from either the UK. Well, from the UK, I was gonna say UK or Ireland, but yeah. But watch that. It's the most Danny Boyle movie in his prime. Like I think his peak. Slumdog
Yeah.
Millionaire is great. I think Slumdog Millionaire is great for like the general audience. Like anyone can really watch this movie. Train Spotting's for the degenerates like us.
Yes.
Well, excellent pick with Danny Boyle. Again, our boy Alfie Williams, the kid, stellar job, goes undrafted. Hopefully he comes in something again, so he has an opportunity to be picked. Before we wrap up, anything else you guys want to touch on the 28 years later movie? Any final thoughts? Erica, you cut off there. Yeah, you cut off, Erica, so I don't know if there's, you want to add some thoughts maybe we skimmed over, but I think we covered just about everything.
I think you guys covered a lot.
Heavy lifting, me and AJ, no problem. We're on it. Nonetheless, we have some exciting anniversaries coming up. We've got me, myself, and Irene ready to go, Erica. I watched that one also. I didn't want to mention it because it might be an anniversary episode, but
Milky.
Good God, it's a giant Q-tip. So when you're ready to do that, that's an anniversary. We discussed heavyweights, and she's just out. Damn, she's like, nope. It's all roads lead the Ninja Turtles, Adrian, and she bounced.
Yeah.
She bounced. Incredible. Well, a lot of fun stuff coming as mentioned, so make sure to follow us online on our socials. Seeing This Pod, you can find us on Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky. You can listen and watch us on
Spotify,
as well as YouTube and Apple Podcasts. As mentioned, if you want to leave us comments, suggestions, thoughts, need to get married and someone to marry you, email us at seeingthisemail@gmail.com. Or you can just go to our website, seeingthispod.com. It has everything there. Like, comment, subscribe, become a part of our tribe. And until next time, stay safe.